Hey, everybody, I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible for healing. We also have a mission to share our brave words around here, and I have some amazing, powerful author experts to help me with that today. These are the authors of Strong Mothers, More Than a Survival Guide. It's a new book we have coming out very shortly, and before I introduce you to these gorgeous ladies, I want to give a huge thank you to Christina Morris, our lead author for this project. Yes. Christina, you're amazing, and you're an amazing new mom with a big mission to help other moms. And this book is so amazing. I'm going to just say amazing like 100 times. How's that? We really thank you for getting this author roster of amazing people together, and we couldn't be here without you. So thank you, Christina. So ladies, welcome. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Hi.
Amazing.
Good. Incredible.
Yay.
Awesome.
I'm so excited to have you all here. So I have Candy Lee Candy Lee. Am I saying your name properly, Candy? Okay, cool.
You are. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't want to butcher people's names. Candy Lee is a Reiki master and intuitive energy reader who uses holistic healing practices to help families create peace, joy, and balance. I also have Lisa Lickert with me. She is an owner and partner of multiple service-based companies where she helps businesses grow and people thrive. Jacqueline Kane is a master energetic healer and coach. Jacqueline Kane will uncover and transform the blocks causing your physical, emotional, and financial pain so you can live the life you were born for. And Atlantis Wolf is a shamanic life coach who uses medical massage, emotional release therapy, and the guidance of galactic dragons to assist her clients who are seeking permanent solutions to their chronic pain. Yeah, I get to play in the sandbox with some pretty cool people, you guys. I'm so lucky. Let's get this party started. So, Candy, we're going to start with you, but I wanted to just sort of introduce myself as a mother and then kind of ask you about that too. So I'm a divorced mother of two college-age, we say kids forever, don't we? Adults, and two fur babies. Tell me what kind of mother you are and about this beautiful chapter that you wrote.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I am a mother, a divorced mother of an 11-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter. My 13-year-old is probably more mature than I am. She's just always been such a wise little soul. And more our relationship is transforming into the beautiful mother-daughter relation. Ironically, the mother-daughter relationship I always saw, where she and I have just really created a beautiful bond, which ties into my chapter. So I wrote chapter 8, Lost and Found, Healing from Postpartum Depression. And my journey into motherhood did not start the way I always dreamed it would. I definitely got knocked over with postpartum depression. There was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't get it right. I'm doing it all wrong. I'm basically damaging my daughter. Were all these just crazy fears. And so over the years, I recognized more and more that it was postpartum depression. And eventually my journey led me to Reiki. As I started going through spiritual awakening. And at this point, let's see, that was 2016. So my daughter would have been around 8 years old at that point. I reconnected to Reiki and my spiritual awakening just went, whew. And so I went through all of the Reiki training and became a Reiki master. I'm currently on a Reiki master teacher journey. And just my favorite part is how it has transformed me from the inside out. And it's transforming the relationships I have with my children so that my daughter and I finally do have that special mother-daughter bond that I always dreamed of. My little boy, not to leave him out, but he's just always been the cuddle bug. All the anxiety I had from child number one didn't happen with him. I was a little more prepared. So it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm so excited and thankful to be able to share it with the world. It's been very healing for me, even at this point.
It's no wonder kid number one versus kid number two. And then if you have more kids than that, you just get more and more relaxed. Poor kid number 3 and 4. It's like, where are you, mom? You're just out having your margarita somewhere, I'm sure, Poor kid number 1, right? That was my son. My daughter was number 2. I resonate with what you said about your daughter. My daughter is smarter and more fearless than I ever was at her age. She's 19 now. That little girl's gonna rule the world one day. I love what you said about yours too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Candy. We're going to come back to you and talk more about this amazing topic. Lisa Lickert, tell us about what kind of mother you are and your amazing chapter.
Well, first, thank you. I love being here, surrounded by, again, this awesomeness, these amazing women. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm a married mother. I've been married for 24 years to a saint. I put that lightly because it is hard to be married to me, and he does it really well. My son is 20 years old, and he has special needs. He battles on a daily basis. It's hard to be Will, but he is freaking phenomenal at being Will. He's a happy child. We never thought he would have a pathway to college. And not only is he in college, but he's living on campus. So I am just so proud of him. So I am a mother of one. It was hard to get Will here. We got him here, and I was meant to be a mom of one. I say that, but I have a ginormous fur baby. He is 110 pounds, and he thinks he's 10 pounds. So he is just a joy. He's very hyper, just like my son, just like me. And so again, my husband is a saint because he lives with all of that chaos on a daily basis. But so my chapter really focuses in on why mornings matter the most, and how your morning just powers every single thing that you do within that day. And a lot of us don't know that. We get things thrown at us all the time. And we just kind of, what do? It's like dodgeball. Sometimes we dodge it, sometimes we catch it and make things happen. And it just comes at us at this pace. And it's hard, right? And it's because we're trying to be everything for everybody. But the morning practice teaches us to be focused on ourselves first and foremost, and make sure that we are doing the things for ourselves. What do they say in an airplane? If something happens, the mask falls, do they tell you to put it on your child first? They don't. They tell you to put it on yourself so you can care for yourself first, so then you can take care of your child. And that's really what the morning practice means. It's a very simple practice that works miracles. And I came across this practice when I had crazy things happening in my life. We all can relate, right? So it's not just one thing that happens to us, right? Instead of given to us as opportunities, it happens to us, right? And so one thing after another came my way, and I started to slip into deep depression. And I started battling with micromyalgia, easy for me to say, right? And so I was just out there trying to find anything that I can do to kind of fix the problem. Is that we see a problem, we try to fix it, right? As people. So that's where I came across my miracle morning and my morning routine. And it has made a significant difference in my life, to the point where I have been able to achieve business and personal success beyond my imagination. And so I've been able to attribute that to my morning routine.
I'm a morning fan. I always have been. But I got to back up and chuckle, because I'm assuming the 100-pound thing was a dog. You didn't say dog or cat, but I'm just like, it's got to be a dog. I want to know. I want to know what the dog's name is. I just really want to know.
Oh, the best part about it, we rescued him from, and he was not supposed to be this big. His name is Bruce.
Okay,
So
cool.
we rescued him with that name. And how can you not keep a name like Bruce? I mean, that's just
Exactly.
funny. That's just funny. So his name is Bruce, and it's well fitting.
Awesome. All right. I'd like to meet Bruce one day. That's such a great name. No joke on the morning thing. And I really enjoyed your chapter because I was just kind of nodding my head to it the whole time. It's like, if people want a really quick and easy secret to success, I really think it's the morning routine. So, Lisa has a lot in there for you guys about setting that up, and it does not have to be difficult. And you don't necessarily have to wake up at 4 a.m. for it either, although some of us are pretty early birds, right? And we get a lot done between like 6 and 9, when the whole rest of the world wakes up. But Lisa, I appreciated that about the morning, and I know that it's a positive habit that you'll never go back on, right?
Well, it's interesting you say that because we're human. And it's easy to break these patterns and forget how powerful something like a simple practice in the morning is to your life. And so I do fall off the wagon, so to speak, from time to time. And but I quickly realized what I did to myself and jump back into it. I just recently had a season where that happened to me. And and I had to kind of have a little come to Jesus meeting with myself and realize that I needed that practice again. So it's easy to be inconsistent. No one's perfect. It's not rainbows and unicorns every single day. But the important part is getting back on track and just embracing the power of that practice.
Yes, for sure. That's a game changer, you guys. I can't wait for you to read Lisa's chapter and all of your chapters. Jacqueline, tell us about yours. What kind of mother are you, first of all?
So I am the mother of two 20-year-olds. I'm married. We had our hard time, but we stayed married and we stuck it out, and our marriage is better than it's ever been. And the kids are more successful than I ever expected them to be. And I love adventure. I love having fun. I love pushing the envelope of what I'm capable of doing. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I know, Laura, that's one of your mottos, and it's one that I love doing, and I love going to new places and doing different things. We do have 2 fur babies. Our golden retriever passed away, so no dogs, 2 cats. And my chapter is all about becoming a strong mom, the birth of self-advocacy. And as I was writing this chapter, helping moms stand in their power is something that I love helping them with, because as I was writing this, I didn't realize that the birth of my first child really got me started in advocating for myself. And I didn't know how much of a people pleaser I was, how much I let everybody just take care of themselves. I talk about there in the chapter that I wanted everything in my life to be natural. And then my doctor was like, you're going to have a C-section. And that was just not on my plan. And if the nurses didn't ask me, what do you want? I would never have delivered my 9-pound, 11-ounce baby naturally. So I didn't realize that was really the first step for me in becoming an advocate for myself. And then my kids would continue that process of having to advocate for kids who are kind of special needs. My older one kind of had reading problems, so that was a big thing. I'm trying to figure that out. My second one was on the borderline of Asperger's and autism, but I didn't want to label him. So I constantly sought after natural ways so that he wouldn't have that label going forward. And he's in college and, he's graduated. He's an accountant doing auditing. I mean, it's amazing what these kids can do. My kids taught me to parent them differently. These kids who are born today, they can't be parented like we were parented, and the way I was parented anyway. So I had to learn a new way to interact with them and understand them so that they can be empowered to live the life that they were put here to do, and the gifts that they were put here to share with all of us. If we just get out of the way and say, who are you? How can I help you? How are you feeling today? So my kids have taught me a lot. They're still teaching me a lot. And when I get out of the way and allow life to just flow, then there's so much more ease, flow, and abundance that happens. And I love sharing that with people.
I love hearing all of you talk about this subject and all of the beautiful ways you're helping the world understand what it means to show up, as a strong mother. That's the idea of that our kids are our teachers came up in another interview, and we were talking a lot about that. And I hear that in yours too, Jacqueline, is like, when you can really look at them differently, then that opens up a whole world of possibility in terms of that relationship and that bonding, and then everything moving forward, right?
Yeah, everything. It's not easy being a mom, especially today with social media. It's like, oh my God, the judgment, the criticism. So every time we help a mom relax and be more present to their children, we're healing the planet. We're helping
Yes.
the child be comfortable with who they are. And that's a beautiful gift. So this book is it's one of my passions. Helping moms is one of it's a passion of mine to help more moms heal their trauma, let go of all that, just step into who they are, step into their power and own who they are, and then teach their kids to do the same thing. And the ripple effect is like, holy shit, people, we're going to have a different planet, right? Like, yes,
Right.
moms, we need you.
Yes. Thank you, Jacqueline. That's awesome. That is, it's big potato stuff to me. It's world changing stuff to me too. And I know you all feel that, and the authors in this book feel that, and we all came together in that energy. So watch out. This book is a powerhouse. And I'll say thank you to all of you right now just for saying yes to this and stepping up so beautifully with your stories, your vulnerable stories about who you are and how you got to being you as a strong mother. And then you all give us these master tools. So listeners, get ready, because you're not going to just be hearing the stories of these powerful women, but they're going to share with you how they made those things happen, the success that they're having now, the insights that they had. You all are so generous. So thank you for that. Okay, so Lisa, I'm starting this next question with you, and it really is kind of a simple one. Yes. Oh, did I miss you, Atlantis? Oh, number 4.
Almost did.
Number 4. And let's see, you know what? This is what happens when you pop into my Zoom at the last minute. Go for it. Sorry about that.
So I was supposed to be on a plane to St. Thomas right now. So full disclosure, I literally just got in on this interview, and I'm super grateful to be here with you ladies. I'm Atlantis Wolf. My chapter is chapter 3. I came late, but I'm here now. And I'm so surprised at my reaction when everybody was talking about whether they're divorced or married, because I never associated that with being a mother. I'm a mother, like whether or not I'm married. I've always been a mother. I've always been the mother archetype. It's just something that I carry. It's who I am. I mother the world. I mean, literally on our honeymoon in New Zealand, there was a kid who was American, because I heard his parents, and we were in a really cool fish tank where you would go around it like you were on this little people mover. And this kid had put his hand up, and there were signs everywhere that said, please don't put your hands up. And so I looked at the kid and I said, hey, you can't read, put your hand down. And his parents looked at me. He was probably like 3 or 4. I think I was 29. And they looked at me and I'm like, he can't read. You need to do that. Like, I've never been that person who thought, wouldn't it be nice if somebody stepped in and helped poor Johnny not walk across the street? Like, I'm just that person who's going to say, Johnny, hold on. Hey, and, go grab him, put him back on the sidewalk. So it's no surprise that I'm the person who has 5 kids. I mother 5 kids. I birthed 2 kids, I adopted 2 kids, and I mother my daughter's best friend down the street. So kids are always here. I've got 4 of them who are seniors in high school, and one of them, my first son, is in college. So everybody's always at my house and they're always asking me for advice, and I'm always just trying to find out where they are in their experience. So to me, it's all about where are you in your experience and what's the weather pattern, because kids are like little tiny barometers. They go up, they go down, they're freaking out about something and then they're not. But you know, me personally, you just have to respect the fact that it's a weather pattern. It comes, it goes, it's temporary. So I made the decision to adopt teenagers who were the product of abuse and neglect and an alcoholic mom. So that has been a huge shift for my family. I've taken care of these kids since they were in fifth grade, and then they turned 18. And then 3 days later, I showed up with police officers and said, "Come on, it's time to go." And brought them into my house and got them safe, which was last April. And it's been ongoing therapy and really hard and not for everybody. But to me, it was just this natural, well, they need help. Okay, okay, come on in. And I've been a single parent for 13 years. So it doesn't really, the good thing is I didn't have to ask somebody else, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea?" I could just look in the mirror and say, "Boy, that's going to be a lot of work." And then I could just look back and say, "Just file that under worth it." Okay, yeah, carry on. So to me, parenting is about stewardship. I look at children the way I look at the national park system. It's not really mine. They're not mine. They don't need to live my dreams. They don't need to go to school and study what I want them to study. All I have to do is keep them safe, generally in a natural state, and get them launched out into the world. As long as I did that, I'm happy.
Awesome. I hate when I miss people, by the way, so I'm sorry I did that to you, Miss Atlantis. It's like one of the worst things for an interviewer, seriously, like, "Oh my God, you missed Atlantis." Okay, so you're amazing. And you made me think of something that when I introduce myself as a divorced mom, it more means that I've been a single mom for a while.
Mhm.
And you reminded me of that when you said that about yourself. And what that also means to me that you reminded me of is that I no longer have to ask for permission when I want to parent a particular way that I think is going to be really important for the health of my children. And I did make a decision somewhere along the line to pull myself away so that I could feel a little bit better inside in my heart about that. So it's just something that you made me think about in terms of like introducing ourselves as married or divorced or this kind of mom or that kind of mom. Honestly, we're all strong mothers because we made choices to help our children be the best, most awesome kids that they could be. And we were not compromising our intuition or our beliefs about that. And that is a warrior mom. Like, it is so difficult some days, right? Married or not married, co-parenting, parent, however you're doing it, it's not easy. So saying that to all of our viewers today too, like, we know this is not easy. We also know that you need a community. And so you're staring at a small one right here, but part of a bigger one with this book. And we can't wait to really invite you in to this warrior community of mothers who are just freaking amazing. Okay, off to Lisa with the next question. Lisa, what does it even mean for you to show up in the world as a strong mother? We've talked a little bit about it already, but how would you answer that?
It's interesting you asked that question in the way that you did, because you actually gave me goosebumps.
Oh,
So
love goosebumps.
you know, being a mother is such a privilege and an honor, and something that when I had a challenge of having Will, I did not know if I would have him as a blessing. So just having that opportunity. And I love what Atlanta said about always being a mother. I was exactly the same way. I lost my mom when I was 14. I was blessed with her for 13 years after we thought she would pass away. So imagine living my life with a mom that lived her every single day like it was her last day on earth. I had a freaking amazing childhood. I know I had her only till I was 14, but it was freaking amazing. And so what happened is I took over my family at 14, and I was a homemaker, and I was a mother to my siblings. And I was a supporter of my father, who didn't know how to balance a checkbook, didn't know how to do anything in life because my mom took care of it. So I feel like all of that helped me build who I am today, of course, but shaped me into being a mom of many, not just a mom of one in Will. And what a wonderful experience that I had in my mother raising me, that I am then able to really kind of to pass that on to Will. You know, she taught me so much about just doing anything is possible and doing anything I wanted. I don't have limitations in my mind. And because of that, I think I've been able to be that kind of mother to Will. And when the doctors and the therapist and everybody said he will not have healthy relationships, he will not go to college, he will not live on campus, plan now to have him in your life, you know, forever. And my son's living on campus, and he's going to college, and he's getting A's and B's. And so maybe I didn't answer your question exactly the way you wanted, but that definitely is the root of who I am as a mother and how I mother.
Yeah, so awesome. You know, so you're making me think of what Jacqueline said about advocacy in terms of those doctors' offices. Man, oh man, right? So, but what you combined that with was this beautiful mindset that you were taught at a very early age in terms of no limitations. So you could take something that you were taught so early, gosh, if only we were all taught that so early, right? And you put it into your life, and as far as, you know what, I hear what you just said, but sorry, that's not going to fly here, right? Because I have a different belief system. I have a different practice of mindset. Oh my goodness, so important. So important, right? For living an amazing life. Yeah, super awesome, Lisa. Okay, Jacqueline, how about you? What does it mean to show up in the world as a strong mother?
I think a strong mother is okay with feeling her feelings and expressing them, and allowing her kids, creating a safe space for her kids to be able to do the same thing. I find that a lot of our kids are sensitive, they're empathic. And when we put them in a public school where they're still trying to figure that out, I think public schools sometimes are babysitting, right? Because there's not a lot of people in this world who are looking at their mindset. And Lisa, you are so blessed to have had that childhood. I had probably the complete opposite, where I grew up with a lot of fear and a lot of judgment, and it's not possible. So I had to figure that out in my upbringing. I had this strong sense of mindset and being positive, so I knew it, but I had to figure it out for myself. And now I am that advocate for my kids. And when my husband, he's shifted a lot recently, but he's an engineer. And when he would say, no, that's not possible, I'm like, oh, you're not saying that to my kids. No. We got to shift that up. So it's allowing our kids the space when they come home from school after being in kind of a toxic situation sometimes, the space to just be. And if they want to be in their room chilling out, you got it. I want to give you what works for you. We're all different. And how can you maneuver and figure out this life, what works for you?
I think strong mothers honor that in each of their kids. And of course, each of their kids are going to be slightly different in the way that they maneuver. So to be able to do that versus trying to control everything, I think that letting go is part of what you're talking about. Yeah. Awesome.
Laura, adding to what Jacqueline just said, and I love everything you just said. I tell my husband all the time, if Will feels great in his skin, we have been the best parents to him that we possibly could be. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of something that we always try to remind each other when we start to influence Will on who we want him to be versus his pathway and who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, Atlantis, you're next on this one. What do you want to add to this? What does it mean to show up in the world as a strong mother?
I like the way that Jackie said it, and that resonates a lot with me. I think for me, it's a balance between moving to a place where everything that I do is for my kids, and moving to a place where I need to remember that I have needs and emotional needs and wants, and sort of making sure that there's that balance. So taking care of myself enough that I'm there for them when they come home and they're wherever they are. The greatest thing about being empathic and intuitive is my kids walk through the door and I know how they're feeling immediately, which I think most mothers do. But it's like right away, I'm like physical, mental, spiritual, like bam, 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 like what's happening? What's going on? Where does this need? Do you need cocoa? Do you need to sit down? Do you need like your tummy rubbed? Like what's happening? And so, I'm quick to soothe. And then I'm always like very much like, okay, now what's happening and what's going on? What part of the story? I always like to say, what's the rain and what's the rainbows? Like what rained on you today and then what caused a rainbow? Because a lot of times it's both, right? Like, well, this happened, but this was actually what triggered it. But, don't forget, I always like to say, don't forget to celebrate. Something good happened. Oh, yeah, I made it to student government. I'm one of the elected officials, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's a lot about acceptance. I think the reason why there are all these kids in my house is because I accept them for who they are. And, one of them's trans, one of them's gay, one of them is straight, the other one is straight, and that one is gay. So it's a rainbow house already, but I think that level of acceptance of just whatever you're wearing is good, whoever you like is good, just, come as you are. And I think that a strong mother can handle all those flavors of people and still find a way to just be there with them. So that's my own version of strong mothering.
I love it. I love the rainbow house. Yes. Okay, Candy, I know it's hard to go last on this question, but what do you want to add to this about showing up in the world as a strong mother?
Oh, everything being said here is so powerful. I resonate with all of it on so many levels. And to be a strong mother really actually ties to the conversation we were having about identifying as a divorced mom or a married mom or just being a mom, and what you were saying about being empowered to be the decision maker. In my co-parenting world, a lot of times we navigate the same, but in my world, I fully believe in holistic health. And sometimes I make decisions that aren't always agreed upon. But for me to be a strong mother meant it's really been the foundation of what's led me to where I am in life, which is be whatever advice I would give to my children. If my child came to me and said, should I stay in this marriage? If my answer was no, then I need to evaluate. That was what led me to make big transformation in my life. And so when I make decisions, it's based on modeling what I want to teach my children. And they see how I've been transforming. And so they trust me and they come to me, and I've been able to help them, shift their energy. And also being a strong mom means I have to release what happens when they're not with me, knowing that I can take care of them when they are with me. Mm-hmm. And it's been a really powerful transition. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Again, really, really enjoy listening to all of you talk about this in your own unique way. It's of course why we're putting together the groups of authors in these books that we do. So because we need all the voices, we need all the ways to talk about this. And I hope our viewers I know they're getting beautiful, beautiful nuggets. Okay, so Candy, you did something without knowing you were doing it, and that was segueing into this next question so beautifully. Jacqueline, I'm starting with you for this one. We take a holistic approach to being a strong mother in this book. In fact, all of the Brave Healer Productions books are about a holistic approach. So when it comes to this journey that we're on, why holistic?
That's a big
It's
question.
a big question. I know.
Because it's the only way, it's the true path to healing. It's the true path to being authentically yourself. If we, I mean, my whole life has been all about how can I heal holistically. I'm 7 years old, and I don't take any medication. And this conversation recently was like, how many people do you think are taking medication? And it's like probably 3 out of 4. Well, when you take a medication, it's only putting a Band-Aid on it. I don't like just putting a Band-Aid on something because you never know when it's going to explode. You never know when it's really going to drop out. The floor is really going to drop out, and you'll be like, oh, we didn't really fix that, did we? So I don't like fakeness. I don't like integrity. I'm all about integrity because that's what makes me feel good inside. I don't like I said before, I grew up with a lot of fear. I know what living with fear is like. I know what living with and feeling the sadness and grief that a lot of people are still carrying that they have not released. And in my work, I do a lot of ancestral energy clearing. Some of that's not even ours. And we don't know that it's not ours because nobody's talking about it. So in my practice with helping people get out of physical pain, just get to the root cause. Let's just go there, deal with the big elephant that you're trying to avoid, which is causing all of your angst and all of your stress. Let's just shine a light on it. We're all good and bad. It's just what it is. Can we just accept everybody for that? And when you do that, life is just magical. It's truly magical.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna clap for that one too. Don't get these ladies started about holistic. I know this question.
Don't go there.
I know. But I love the question so much, and I loved how you answered it. Okay, so let's see how Atlantis is going to answer this. Why holistic, Atlantis?
Because it's the only way that fixes the problem. And I couldn't agree with Jackie more that holistic, because we think of holistic in terms of just healthcare, but then of course healthcare is our whole life. And so if you're not dealing with the whole, you're not really dealing with the problem. So if someone is depressed, okay, so that's fine and that's wonderful. But instead of medicating the depression, let's see if it is ancestral healing or if it's, low UV and ship you off to the Caribbean for a couple of weeks in February.
Me.
Exactly. figure out what the solution is and figure out what the actual problem is because I just always use myself as an experiment. I was depressed and found out that by getting up and walking every day in all weather for 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the weather, I wasn't depressed anymore. And I did it by seeing a holistic doctor who looked into my eyes. I did the iridology. And he said, "You're not depressed. You have a low functioning thymus." And I thought, is that serious? Do I have to get it out? And he just started laughing. He's like, "No, you just need to circulate your blood more." I'm like, "Oh, it's like go for a walk." And he said, "Yeah." And it's true. I mean, after having depression for, I don't even know, like low level, like 3 or 4 years, um, it was 2 weeks and it was gone. So I think it's holistic because it is the root. It's not the symptom, it's the cause. And so I don't want to treat the symptoms. I want to treat the cause always when it comes to why my kids are upset, why my clients are struggling. I don't even say suffering because suffering is optional, but why are they struggling? I think it's all about the root, to echo more of what Jackie said so well.
Yes, for sure. There's a lot of ways to look at root cause, and essentially, I think our society, this particular society in the United States, has been taught that there's a quick fix. And so here's the quick fix, right? And we're just a little bit stuck in feeling better now. So we're not looking at the root cause. We're just looking at, but this gets all the way back to the advocacy thing we were all talking about too, which, oh my goodness, we could talk about all day
It
long.
does. And it also gets to the distraction in society. So if you can distract yourself away from your pain, you don't have pain.
Yeah.
If you can go and look at social media instead of feeling your heart, then you're fine. Carry on.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, Candy, what do you want to add? Why holistic? You know, you said that holistic word, so you started this, but
I know. Well, and ironically, I must have been intuiting something because I forgot to mention part of being a strong mother is that I end up trying things that have not been modeled to me before. And so that's been an interesting part of the journey, which is part of my why holistic. I actually just exited a 14-year public relations career working in the medical industry. And so part of my journey was in 2014, I didn't feel good. I was bloated. I looked pregnant. I felt pregnant. Things were off. And I'm going to the doctors and I'm like, my blood pressure is high for me, but on a chart, it's not high. My sugars are high for me, but on a chart, they're not high. Look at me. I'm bloated. I don't feel good. Something is wrong. And they're like, well, everything looks normal. We're doing tests. We're taking blood, whatever. I'm like, but something is wrong. And they're like, it's probably hormones. So I go to my OB and he is like, I'm not going to be able to find anything else that they haven't already found. We can play with your birth control. And I'm like, that's not okay for me. And so thankfully, I was led to a holistic muscle response nutrition type tester. And she found my body full of toxins, metals, candida, overgrowth, all the things. And so, of course, then I went on a detox journey. And as my body started healing, that's what started triggering my spiritual awakening. So, I have just found that the more I understand energy, the more the world unlocks itself for me. And it's beautiful. It's magical, just like Jacqueline said, and it makes life so much more fun. And that's how we create these transformations. And I'm just so passionate about it.
I'm writing that one down. The more I understand energy, the more the world unlocks for me. I love that. All right, Lisa, what do you want to add to this amazing discussion about holistic?
You know, I felt like saying ditto when you asked me to answer this question, because I've had very similar experiences with doctors and just wanting to throw medication at me. And I would ask the question, but what should I be doing, not taking? What should I be doing? What should I be changing, not taking? And I get this look of blank stares. And with my son and everything that he goes through, one doctor says this, another doctor says this, a therapist says this, and at the end, they want to write a script. They just want to write a script. And so a lot of my coaching, the moms that I coach, has a lot to do with creating the control you crave, because we are in complete control of our bodies, our minds, there's so much that we have control over if you just let that be, if you just accept that. And it's not about what the next doctor says and the pill that you get. And it's not, the next best thing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had to research and then educate the doctors on what the best pathway was for my son. And they would always come back to me like, let me talk to a few people about that and see what that, is all about. So holistic to me is just, is always 100% the pathway, we pursue. It no longer is, I got to talk to my doctor. I mean, obviously physicians and practitioners are extremely important in our lives, but it's that control, that we all crave. With holistic approach, you kind of have that power, if you will.
Love it. Thank you, Lisa. All right, amazing ladies. I'm going to do a speed dating version of this next question. So I am challenging you all to answer it in a sentence. Let's see if you can do it. I don't know. What I want for this last question, Atlantis, you're up first, is something that our viewers can do right this moment, easy, simple stepping stone, if they're feeling like they just need to shift the energy. It's not feeling so good, and you want to give them something that they can do right now, easy peasy, to shift that energy. What would yours be?
Read my chapter.
No fair.
Exhale, take 3 breaths and exhale in through your nose, out through your mouth. And when you exhale out through your mouth, as long as you can, 3 times. Can't be beat.
Atlantis really is no, it's no joke, y'all, because you're going to be able to pick up this book and read any one chapter, and the energy will shift both from the story that these authors are telling, and also they're going to be teaching you their beautiful tools. The breath, yes, I'm with you, Atlantis. Okay, Candy, how about yours? What would you offer?
Well, to offer something different, drinking water, hydration is more important. And so many of us are walking around less hydrated than we realize. So breathe, drink water.
Beautiful, simple. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Lisa, how about yours?
Give gratitude, 3 to 5 things that you are most grateful for in your life. Take a pause, 5 minutes, give gratitude.
Yes, gratitude energy shifts things right in the moment. Fantastic. Thank you. Jacqueline, you're going to close us out today. What's yours?
A little journal, everything they said, and some journaling. Just get paper and pen and write down, I don't feel good. I don't feel good, until you feel it shifting in your body, and then choose how you want to feel.
Oh, you know, I love the journaling one. Okay. I'm a writing fan. You all know that. Fantastic addition. Ladies, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. This is great.
So for all of our viewers today, remember that we have a live stream book launch party coming up on March 4th for Strong Mothers. It's going to be at noon Eastern on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page. You can join us. We're going to have some fun giveaways that day and all that good stuff. And if something one of these authors said to you today really sparked something, then pop on down to the show notes, because their websites are there. Take the next step, click and explore. These women are very generously there for you to answer questions and offer support. And they can't wait to connect, right? That's the community we were talking about. You can build yours today. And if you're listening to this after March 4th, well, that means get over to Amazon, because the book is ready and available. You can get your copy. And lastly, today, everybody, just remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Bye, ladies.
Bye.